Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. I apologize for being so late today. Those of you who have been watching for a long time, you know that the only day I have missed, or days I have missed, since I started doing this in the day after Christmas in 2019, I started coming on every single day at this time. And I've been on every single day since, and the only exceptions were the following April when Alfie, Brave Sir Alfred of Pumpkin, got out, and he was gone for 5 days, and I was beside myself, and I wasn't coming on all of this. So anyway, so this morning, there was suddenly, people coming and going and what have you. And sometimes I call Brave Sir Alfred of Pumpkin, I will call him Houdini, because boy, can he, because he's so fearless, he will just get up and just go. And Houdini kept trying to get out, so I had to keep an eye on him this morning, and so everything started running late. So I apologize. Your time, your questions, and your time are very important to me. So, but we're here now. Okay. So anyway, 10% of all income that comes into the channel goes to feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. That's an ongoing thing. We have Epic Troll Slayers. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for making this possible. And let me think what else. Yeah, I've got your questions. This needs to be turned down. Do not disturb should be on, and should be turned on just a little. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, get out ye old cards. B says, know the feeling. Houdini cats. I have to call mine in at night to settle. I understand. Okay, Fab Nails and Border. I pin curl my hair too. Only way to make it curl. It's so much easier, and so much easier on like for the long-term health of your hair, rather than using heat all the time. But thank you guys. I have got Halloween deck. I have got you, and I have got some of the worst lighting I've ever had. Hang on, but I'll pull it together here. Let me turn down the contrast just a tiny bit. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's better. I'll just leave that like that. All right. Thank you. So at 3 minutes in, let's start in with the first question. Has anybody heard yet if Bannon and Patel actually showed up today? I imagine Bannon didn't, but has anybody heard about Patel? Because I was looking through the news as I was getting ready, and I didn't see anything about him today. Let's add makeup. Makeup? Something wrong with my makeup? Seems okay. Thank you, Barbara. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Jolie says, my mother-in-law said she used to pin curl girls' hair in college back in the 1920s for pin money. Ah, okay. Great. All right. CC Ryder saying Houdini cats is a universal term among cats' parents. We all have them. Okay. Oh my gosh. Mandy's saying, I lost my deaf house cat for 6 weeks. I nearly lost my mind. Luckily, a neighbor spotted him. He'd lost nearly half of his weight. Oh, but I guess he was okay. I guess he survived, and I'll bet you nursed him back to health. Poor little thing. Okay, so CC Ryder has information. No, as of now, CNN just reported Bannon and Patel have not reported to the committee. Well, we kind of expected it from Bannon, but Patel has decided to play that game? Really? Okay. So let's have a look. In fact, I might make this 2 questions. Let's look at Bannon, and then let's look at Patel. So at 5 minutes in, let's look at Steve Bannon. Will immediate action be taken against Steve Bannon? Mandy said he lived to be 22. You guys are very sweet. All right, Bannon. Where are you, Krusty? Crust check. A definite full card, definite feeling like I'm above all that. I'm above. Really? Someone suggested that what Bannon, the game he might be playing, is there's somebody, I think it's a bug guy, but there's somebody suddenly wiping the outside of the window frames. Sorry, I'm on the 2nd floor. Just suddenly like, okay. That was very odd. Thank you, Google Peace. Thank you. Thank you. Diana says the January 6th committee earlier statement said they were engaging with Patel, but Bannon, where did that go? But Bannon claimed a vague executive privilege. Okay. Well, oh. Yes, it's Trump's it's Trump's motto: delay, delay, delay. And didn't you say you have a day off, so you're here? B. Smith, I wondered if a mouse was in the house. Oh, the cats would be all over that. Especially Pumpkin, especially Alfie. Yeah. Sorry, that just kind of threw me. All right, Bannon. Where are you, Krusty? Someone suggested that what Bannon's thinking is that he can defy whatever. He can even get criminally prosecuted, but ultimately he somehow thinks Trump's going to get back into office and he'll be pardoned again. Ain't going to happen, Spiff, but okay. Holly, will Alfie ever make an on-screen appearance? He shows up every once in a while. Every once in a while. All right, Bannon. Oh, I can feel him getting laughed out of court. I would have thought maybe this would go to maybe the Supreme Court shadow docket, who knows what, but he doesn't have a strong enough case. It doesn't feel like he has a strong enough case, but let's see. I refuse. I'm not going to cooperate. You can even offer me cocoa and I won't do it. Of course, he'd, want to put alcohol in his cocoa, but and Bannon, the emperor, yes, executive privilege. 9 of Cups. So sitting in front of the committee, there's the moon, great emotional upset. 6 of Ghosts. Well, it's not really a big, they're just working together, getting to the bottom of what happened. 3 of Wands, but they've Trump has told all of them, has told everybody, do not cooperate. That doesn't say what's going to happen to Bannon, but this is the cards are saying where we are. Okay. That's where we are. Thank you. But where is Bannon going? Has anybody read the Vanity Fair article that has the excerpt from Adam Schiff's new book, Midnight in Washington? Harrowing. That's a legal decision. King of Swords. Oh, that's a prosecutor. Queen of Ghosts. This is Five of Cups. Queen of Cups in the center. What it feels like is they're definitely going to go after him, Bannon. And he's tried to kick as much over as he can, but he's a little dismayed that it's like, oh, well, it didn't quite work, did it? And I've got in the center, because in these 3, 5, and 7 card spreads, it's the card in the middle has the most power. That's the Queen of Cups, which is the Democrats. So they will. It's what he's doing. It's not gonna fly. So is he then going to comply? Because that's the thing about Bannon. I can call him a lot of things and a lot of really nasty things and be accurate, but he's not stupid. Some of them are, but he's not. So will he say, all right, and cooperate, or will he decide he's going to be the big test case and they're going to have to send marshals or whoever else after him? Oops. So it's not going to go your way, Bannon. So what are you going to do after that? He's a fascist, but he has just a little bit of common sense. Not enough to make up for the fact that he's a fascist, but okay. Temperance. Okay, so he may temper himself, but let's look at the cards and see what they say. Okay. Judgment. Fool. It's not going to go well. Ace of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. 6 of Cups. I just keep getting good cards for the Democrats. And there are Republicans who are willing to sit and give them information. So the people who are not willing to be there, it's like, or the people who they've forced to come in, or the people who try to drag their feet, it's like, it says here in this record that this, and you did this, and you went here, and so there's so much information that's already been given over, and there's so many Republicans who are going to sit for questioning that this is just a clown show. This is just a sideshow. And the Democrats just move on and move on. So with that temperance card, his common sense may kick in eventually. He's still gross. So Bannon can end up back in jail for this, or heck, maybe for something else. Chariot, in a big way. Chariot. Whew. Your vehicle to take you to the prison has arrived. That's what that feels like. Death card, Sun card, Page of Cups. Does he have any family he's leaving behind somewhere? because this, you're with these major arcana with the Chariot, you're by. Yes, dear. Bannon, I think Bannon's going to be going back to jail at some point, because a lot of these people, they do these awful things, even once they're pardoned, they don't change their ways. They just do other stuff. Google Peace, are you okay? Asking for help? Michael Grant says Bannon is a disgusting, intelligent man who is so gone. A former Navy officer, like DeSantis, wasted humanity. Don would like to see the perp waddle. And Disrata is saying, I gather Bannon's worst enemy is a jug of degreaser. Okay. Pamela says, I find it amazing. Every time I see Marjorie Taylor Greene, I automatically want to condition her hair. Every time I see Bannon, I want to throw him in a shower. Every time I say Gohmert, I want to put a cork in his mouth. Oh, goodness. B. Smith, Bannon has 3 kids. B. Smith, thank you for the information. Bannon has 3 kids and 2 uses their mother's name. Yeah, they're not going to be impressed. Ex-wife and twin daughters. Okay. Yikes. Well, that's you. That's it for Bannon. Okay, Patel, 17. All right, Patel. It said you were cooperating, but we're supposed to be speaking in front of the January 6th Select Committee today, and I guess nobody has heard anything about you, like where you are, what you're doing. Dave, exactly. Skunks don't change their stripes. And why should these skunks are, they've got their issues, but they're handsome creatures as far as creatures go. Very dashing. But no, I'm just kidding. Patel. Hang on. Come out wherever you are, says Wrestling Reads. Patel. No, not the brothers. Don't care about the brothers. News. Patel ditches January 6th deposition. Former Defense Department official in the Trump administration who was involved in security planning. He was involved in security planning and responding to the January 6th insurrection. He did not appear Thursday for his scheduled deposition before the House Select Committee. He didn't show up, Adam Kinzinger said. He's continuing to engage. We have a limited threshold of patience for that. The committee is set to meet later Thursday. Though Patel didn't show up for his scheduled deposition, he has been fundraising off the subpoena issued to him and has criticized the panel as corrupt. So, Patel, dude, really? Really? Because he knows, I mean, he was really more involved with, I'm surprised he's engaging with them at all, because I think he has a lot to lose. I think he heard a lot more than some of the others even. Knight of Swords, dude, they are coming after you. They're going to make an example out of you. Limited patience. I'm feeling zero patience with this. like anger, like legally squash him like a bug. Oh my gosh, Judy, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Thank you. 6 of Cups. 2 of Cups. They're working together. There's no division on this panel. Ace of Pentacles. 5 of Swords. Insult to injury. 5 of Cups again. Oh, I thought that would work. Insult to injury. I'm not going to. Oh, well, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Make an example. So, popcorn. He's got the popcorn. Fi says, I cannot wait until they're all wearing orange jumpsuits in honor of their boss. Oh, Patel, about to have some U.S. Marshals or someone knocking on your door. 2 of Swords. Yes, that was a legal decision you made to not show up today. And Knight of Swords, that is aggressive law enforcement, because he was involved in the planning for January 6th, and the government had enough. Planning in the government, but also the government's had enough. Yep. There's no doubt in these cards. It's just they're going to, law enforcement is going to come get you. So I've got a question now. 2230. Will there be a lot of MAGA, let's say, organizers in jail? As in short term or long term, or CC Ryder, the committee should never have made the statement they're engaging with them. It means absolutely nothing. Stay quiet and release the hounds. And Diana saying, release the men in black. Get the noisy cricket. So are there going to be a number of arrests, people spending 1 day to 1 year in prison, or facing criminal charges and hanged man for that's serious. String you up by your heels. 10 of Swords. There's the Sun. There's the Death card in the middle. Queen of Cups and Ace of Swords. Sword of Truth. This is not going to go well for you guys. And it's going to be on display too. It's all going to come to light. And boy, this is just... Okay. Well, let's see. Dawn says it's getting to the exciting part. Yeah, let's see what's happening, what's going to happen here. So we'll be hanging on. Pamela says, I volunteered to bring them in. Please let me have at them. Bell Book and Candle says, I keep hearing bad boys, what you gonna do? Google Piece does have the popcorn out. I'll have to share that. I'll have to share lots of popcorn. Okay. So at 25, now this is upsetting. Have you guys been hearing about the people on the school board members and other people like that who are getting the most awful threats, run off the road, having child protective services called on them for no valid reason? Doxy says they could make it a pay-per-view event. Make some money. It definitely makes some money. So anyway, well, this grassroots MAGA violence, the stalking and the harassment, will it increase leading up to the U.S. Pluto return, which is February 20th of 2022, so next year. Exactly, Diana. Double toil and trouble. Hieroglyphic tribute. Hello. Hope photographers are on hand to catch their arrests. This MAGA violence, is it just going to increase? About the MAGA violence increasing, there was a moment in that 7-minute part that Richard Engel has brought out about Our House, which was about the January 6th insurrection. There's one moment of that really stood out to me, and that was when the first protesters crossed a low barrier. A few of them started walking around on the grass, across this barrier. The rest held back because they were waiting to see if the ones who had stepped onto the grass were going to be shot. And of course they weren't. If there are no consequences, you do what you want. And these people who are harassing and stalking and filing false claims, the amount of people who are disrupting flights and getting kicked off of flights and making flight attendants' lives so dangerous. All of these people who have this uncontrolled rage, they need to learn that there are consequences for that. This is civilization. Page of Cups. And using it as, well, this is about my kids, and yeah, you want to protect your kids, but you're not showing your kids how to handle things if you're running somebody off the road. I've always made it very clear that one of the reasons I started doing this was I was doing these readings anyway, so I thought, well, why don't I just record them? But also, I wanted to be on record that a fascist came into power in the United States of America, and I did not stand by. I did not stay quiet. And that's been very important to me. So I understand if you feel you're in a situation where you're being ruled by tyrants, that you want to stand up, you want your voice to be heard, but I'm not I'm not stalking anybody, I'm not harassing anybody, I'm not running them off the road, no. Knight of Pentacles. This is entitlement. It's part of Pluto going through Capricorn, because Capricorn is about status. If you think about it, the stereotype of England, with the that upper crust accent and the tweed and the aristocracy, the status, the all of old money, that's Capricorn. And it's an entitlement. I was born into a certain family. I was born into a certain amount of wealth. Therefore, I deserve. I am automatically. There's nothing I earned, just, and that's what this is. These people, they believe they are entitled to act this way. They are entitled to hurt other people, scare other people, scare children. The world is mine. That also might be the end of this. Garbage is nigh. 8 of Pentacles. Oh no, they're still working on it. They're still working it. And Page of Pentacles. They're showing children do not learn what you tell them. They learn by what you do. And there's a Hermit. It's only going to go to a point, and things will change. They become more and more isolated. But I'm concerned about the level of violence. Because I guess, I would say, I guess I'm a bad writer because I can't think of villains that are as bad as these people. I really can't. And I wouldn't have said, okay, MAGA's going to hang on there. People are still going to be supporting Trump. And they're going to start threatening school board members and election officials and drive them out of their jobs. I didn't see that coming because I wasn't looking for it. Cat Shepherd said, I always thought Capricorn was about reaching the top of the mountain, come what may. Sometimes elbows get thrown. No sign is all bad. And I'm not saying that that's all that Capricorn is. I'm just saying that status, that entitlement is classic bad side of Capricorn. Seven of Pentacles, so fruits of labor, but unsteady. 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. They think that if they'll get their victory eventually. But part of it, feels like it's anchored in this idea of Trump having a victory ultimately. And when that doesn't happen, a lot of this may fall apart. So CC Ryder, I'm a Capricorn with a Capricorn sun. Well, Cap's sun is a Capricorn. Fighting against all the bad Cappies. In my way, I'm fighting, I guess, against all the bad Scorpios too. Alicia says, I'm Capricorn. Please be nice. I've never displayed any or much of the negative side. Oh my gosh, I hope you don't think I was insulting you. No, there's good and bad sides to every sign. And I was just using that as an example of what's going on astrologically and an example of what's going on astrologically and one side of that sign to explain the entitlement that it's bringing up to the fore. The longest relationships I've had, the one was with a Capricorn, one was with a Taurus. Capricorn, genius sculptor. So it just Erica L. I'm a Capricorn, I understand. Okay, good. All right. 35. And Dave. No, the D word. Not the D word. No. We do not want anyone passing away. We don't want anyone getting sick. We just want justice, actual courtroom justice, conviction if there's evidence, and prison. So anyway, good. At least that understands. Okay, good. All right. 36. 36 will, in the future, will all Americans look back at the January 6th insurrection as the treasonous tragedy that it was? That's my question. Kevin says the only thing this Capricorn knows he is entitled to is love. I like that. Because we are all entitled to love. And I'll start singing here in a minute. But you are enough. You are enough. So in future, will Americans look back at the January 6th insurrection as the treasonous tragedy that it was? Thank you for being here. 8 of Wands, so it was a lot of attack. It was definitely an attack. There's a Star card, Page of Cups, Knight of Swords. This feels like a monument, even if it's just a plaque, but this feels like some kind of monument. This will not be forgotten. This is not just going to get swept out under the rug. There's some kind of monument, memorial. There's something so that people don't forget in future. And this will be looked at very, very badly. Yeah. Okay. Good. Black Cat Blue Chair, Steve Bannon is being held in criminal contempt of court. The Guardian just reported this. CC Ryder, CNN News Alert, committee is moving forward to hold Bannon in criminal contempt. Joy. Is it going to be, do we know, is it being sent to the DOJ? Is it, hang on. Should we pull up the news? We should pull up the news, shouldn't we? I'll demonetize the video. Hang on. Let me turn that off. Let's pull up MSNBC. Live TV. Oh, it's logging in. It's logging me in. Just a second. What's happening to evangelicals in the post-Trump era? What? But I did sign in. Yes, I'm signed in. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just trying to meet the press reports. Okay, so it's 2 minutes to the top of the hour. So if it's okay with you, I'll share this. I better get my little headphones on. NBC is showing Chuck Todd. Share screen. Chrome tab, MSNBC. Okay, there's no sound at the moment. Hang on. Matter of fact, I don't know that shared sound. I hope it did.
Party. It is becoming a movement of Donald Trump, and that you see at the Patriot Church. Why Donald Trump? I mean, they admit he is an imperfect messenger. He is not the kind of Christian that they all hope to be, but they very much support him because of his positions, his pro-life position, his position on illegal immigration, and they want to go a step further. They believe there are only two genders, there is no transgender, and they are very much anti-gay marriage.
You know, it's interesting.
Floating Lotus
for an interview for our show.
It's saying it's been referred to the DOJ, yes, but the committee should also invoke their inherent rights to hold him in contempt and send the Capitol Police to invite him to enjoy a little suite in their jail.
The movement that he admits has always been a part of the movement that has been uncomfortable for the more devout evangelicals.
He does. He embraces the prosperity gospel, and in many ways, he would seem to be the personification of the prosperity gospel. And the one thing Donald Trump has always been is he's been an extraordinary salesman. Chuck?
Ann Thompson, it's terrific work. Folks are not going to want to miss it. It's a wonderful package, a wonderful half hour. I hope you will take a look. Thank you, Ann, and thank you all for being with us this hour. We'll be back tomorrow with Meet the Press Daily, and MSNBC's coverage continues right this minute with Jeff Bannon.
Okay, let's see what Jeff has to say.
It is great to be with you. I'm Jeff Bennett, and we are bracing for a major escalation this afternoon in the congressional investigation into January 6th. It's deadline day for Steve Bannon to cooperate with a subpoena from the committee, and his attorney has already told the panel he won't testify or hand over any documents. Now, if he's a no-show for today's deposition, the committee could move quickly to pursue criminal charges against him. And the chairman of the January 6th panel says they'll do just that. Benny Thompson released a statement about 30 minutes ago saying, quote, "I've notified the select committee that we will convene for a business meeting Tuesday evening to vote on adopting a contempt report." Now, Bannon says he's refusing because former President Trump is trying to assert executive privilege over his conversations and communications with aides. Two major problems for Bannon on that front. First, he hadn't been a White House employee for years before January 6th. And second, President Biden has formally rejected Trump's claims of executive privilege, with White House lawyers telling the National Archives, release the documents. Because President Biden believes, quote, "an assertion of executive privilege is not in the best interests of the United States." Now, this all sets up a legal fight that could end up at the Supreme Court. The question: can a former president exert executive privilege? Lots of legal experts say no, but it's never been tested. Meantime, another major escalation from the committee today, issuing a subpoena to a former Justice Department lawyer who helped lead Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the election he lost. Jeffrey Clark was an assistant attorney general in the Trump administration who has emerged as one of the key players in this saga. At one point, Trump threatened to fire the acting AG and install Clark as attorney general. That culminated in an explosive Oval Office meeting in which Trump backed down only after top Justice Department and White House officials threatened to resign en masse. Joining us as we start the hour, NBC News national political reporter Sahil Kapoor, who's on Capitol Hill, New York Times chief White House correspondent Peter Baker, Politico national correspondent Betsy Woodruff-Swan, and former DOJ chief spokesperson Matt Miller. Big welcome to the four of you. So, Sahil, we learned just minutes ago that the January 6th committee is moving forward with proceedings to refer Steve Bannon for criminal contempt. The committee chairman, says the committee is not going to tolerate defiance of our subpoena. So bring us up to speed.
That's right, Jeff. Some big news from the January 6th Select Committee making their first announcement about plans to advance a criminal contempt referral for Steve Bannon, who is the first official in these subpoenas that they've issued to explicitly refuse to comply. He cites a claim of executive privilege by former President Trump that the committee does not accept here, which the Biden White House does not accept here. Bannon's legal team is arguing that the committee should come to an agreement with the former president or get a court ruling in their favor. The committee chairman, Benny Thompson, says that's not going to fly. They're going to meet on Tuesday to vote on that criminal contempt referral. Now, here's the process. The committee's got to vote first. Then it sends it to the full House of Representatives. Once that gets a majority vote, it goes to a U.S. attorney in Washington who decides whether to prosecute. The prosecution here could include fines. It could include up to 12 months of jail time. This is an important one because it's going to set the tone going forward for all these hostile witnesses who are either refusing to comply, who are kind of throwing sand in the gears, who want to wait and see how aggressive this committee is going to get in terms of its demands, how aggressive it's going to be in terms of forcing people to comply. Lastly, Steve Bannon is a figure with a national profile of his own. He's been prominent in far-right circles for many years before Donald Trump even appeared on the national scene, worked in his campaign, worked in the Trump White House, has been a strong supporter of the Trump message and the whole MAGA theme vision for the country ever since.
Yeah, so Matt Miller, take us through some of the history here of criminal contempt referrals for refusing to comply with congressional subpoenas. In the past, the DOJ has declined to prosecute. Why is this time different?
There's one very important difference. In the past, when these criminal contempt referrals have come, they have been for officials in the executive branch for whom the sitting president has made an assertion of executive privilege. And DOJ's longtime policy is if the president, the sitting president, asserts executive privilege and an official declines to testify because of that, which a sitting official almost always will, the Department of Justice will respect the president's wishes and not try to pursue that individual in court with an indictment. Now, the difference here is the sitting president, Joe Biden, has not asserted executive privilege for Steve Bannon or for Mark Meadows or any of these other four witnesses that the January 6th committee is attempting to interview. And so the president has kind of vaguely made these claims, apparently to Bannon and the other witnesses. He or his attorneys have not sent a formal letter to the committee. They've not gone through the processes you would typically expect someone to do if they want to make the case for executive privilege. So the committee is free to ignore that, and I think the Justice Department is free to ignore the former president's wishes too, and move towards indictment once they get that referral from Congress. Now, if the former president wants to go to court, wants to try to pursue an executive privilege claim and stop the committee from proceeding with this subpoena, he is free to do that, and his claim, I'm sure, will be tested in court. As you said at the opening of the segment, it is somewhat of an open question. It's one that's never been tested in any great detail before the courts, but he's not done that to date.
So, Peter Baker, I mean, we all remember the Russia investigation and that subpoena fight with the former Trump White House counsel, Don McGahn, that took 2 years to resolve, if memory serves me correctly. That seems to be the Trump game plan here. You know, tell people not to comply, run out the clock by kicking it over to the courts.
Well, that's right. It did take forever to get Don McGahn in there. And by the time they did, it was sort of beside the point. Yeah. And obviously that could be the motivation here as well. As Matt pointed out, though, there is a difference in the Justice Department's involvement. Certainly, you would think creates a greater sense of urgency in terms of getting a court to issue a definitive ruling in a more timely way. And the fact of the matter is that these are, in fact, novel claims, though. No former president, as we just said, has been able to assert executive privilege. In fact, the law specifically envisions the idea that a former president has less of an interest in confidential communications than a sitting president, because after certain amounts of years, the archives are required to release documents and information that otherwise might have been protected, because as time passes, their interest diminishes. The other novel claim here, of course, is the idea that somebody who didn't even work for the government, that is Steve Bannon, would somehow be cloaked under executive privilege. That is also something that, as far as I can tell, has never been litigated successfully before, never been tried, I don't think. Yeah. And what it means is, if it were to be successful, that a president, every person that person talks to, every person that president talks to could, in theory, be then shielded by executive privilege, when in fact the idea of executive privilege is that you get confidential communications from your advisors, from your staff, from your people working for you in the White House. Not if you talk to somebody in a rope line, in a rally, or you talk to a friend or a political ally on the outside, suddenly that's somehow shielded from the claims of a Congress that needs information and is using the subpoena power to get it.
So, Betsy, I want to ask you about the committee subpoena to Jeffrey Clark. And we should explain for our viewers, this is a former Trump DOJ official who pressed his former colleagues at the Justice Department to pursue Donald Trump's false fraud claims. This subpoena to him, I think it shows that this committee is casting a wide net on Trump's efforts to overturn the election he lost, not just what happened on January 6th itself.
The Clark subpoena is a big deal for two reasons. First, he hasn't testified to Congress, even though other committees have tried to secure his testimony, and even though he has more knowledge than just about anyone in terms of how Trump tried to get the DOJ on board with his efforts to overturn the election. And in fact, Clark tried to get DOJ to send out letters to states around the country falsely claiming that the FBI found evidence of voter fraud when it hadn't found any significant such evidence. That's one reason he's a big deal. The second reason, though, that this subpoena of Clark is so important is that several months ago, I reviewed a letter that Trump sent to multiple former DOJ officials, including saying that they could testify to congressional inquiries and saying that Trump would not use executive privilege to block their testimony. My understanding is that that letter still stands. I don't have any information indicating that Trump has followed up with Clark and changed his mind. And what that means is that, first, Clark's testimony is really interesting. And second, Trump has put it in writing that Clark can testify. So the committee is on very firm ground here when it comes to getting him to talk. And when or if he does, it's sure to be extremely interesting to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sahil, I want to go back to you because I'm told you have some news about Kash Patel. This is the Trump loyalist who was installed at the Defense Department in the final days of the Trump administration. What do you have?
Jeff, just coming to us in the last few moments, a select committee aide telling NBC News that they have agreed to short postponements of Kash Patel and Mark Meadows in their deposition testimony. Patel was scheduled to testify today. Meadows is scheduled to appear before the committee tomorrow. This aide says that because these two have been engaging with the committee, that they are giving them short postponements. They don't set a date for when they ultimately will have to comply, but it does indicate that they're putting these two men in a different bucket than Steve Bannon. They say they are engaging, and it sounds like they are hopeful, at least, if not optimistic, about coming to some sort of an agreement with them about getting them to testify and provide the information that the committee is asking for. Also, the same aide tells me Dan Scavino, the former Trump White House official, they had trouble serving him at first, and they have agreed to a postponement in his scheduled deposition as well because of that delay. So one man, Steve Bannon, now in the crosshairs of a likely criminal contempt referral for that subpoena. The other three, it looks like they're going to give them a little more time and see if they're going to meet the same fate as Steve Bannon.
Yeah, and one wonders about the level of engagement when the committee uses that word. So Matt Miller, how fast could the U.S. attorney in D.C. act on the Bannon issue? And take us inside Merrick Garland's head, if you can. Would he have to? He would have to sign off on a prosecution. So what's the likelihood of that?
So I think they could move very quickly. I mean, this is pretty open and shut here. There's not much to investigate. The question is whether Steve Bannon has defied a lawful subpoena. It will be pretty clear that he has. There is no executive assertion from the president, which is the thing that they would look at. And obviously, President Biden has not made that. So I would expect the U.S. attorney in D.C., a longtime career DOJ official named Channing Phillips, very well respected by members of both parties, could make a decision pretty quickly. And yes, it would have to, I suspect, be approved by the Attorney General himself. The only complicating factor I can imagine is if the president has gone to court somehow and tried to assert executive privilege and try to either quash this subpoena or some other way pursue a civil action to block the committee. That might delay the Department of Justice if it wanted to see how that played out. But I don't think it would have to. If they wanted to move quickly and indict Bannon and force the president to try to block that or force Bannon to try to block that, I think they'd be well within their rights to do so. And there really is no reason for them to delay. And I'll just add, I would suspect the reason you see Kash Patel and Mark Meadows negotiating with the committee the way they clearly are is because they see the committee moving forward with potential criminal referrals, and they don't want to be in that same bucket.
That was going to be my last question for you, so I appreciate that. Matt Miller, Betsy Woodruff-Salon, Peter Baker, and Sahil Kapoor bringing us that breaking news. Still ahead, the highly anticipated study on whether it is safe and effective to mix COVID vaccines.
There we go. Okay, here we are. Goodness gracious. All right. So I was pulling cards while they were talking about Bannon. Pulled a bunch of cards. Mandy is saying, my son-in-law is an attorney. He said, be patient. Okay. Kim says, I came in late. So did turn Steve Bannon get turned to DOJ? Well, someone was saying that the committee's actually going to meet this evening for some reason, but they're talking about an official meeting to talk about the Bannon subpoena on Tuesday, I think it was. So I pulled some cards, many cards. Basically, what I got is Bannon thinking he's all that. He's politically married to Trump. But it's like, no, Spiff, that's aggressive law enforcement, and that's America, and that's clearing the air. And not only that, but this is law enforcement causing real upset when this doesn't work. So the Republicans are going to have to try to flail around to find other tactics to use to try to save themselves. Okay. So then as they were talking just now, they were talking more and more about other people trying to defy the committee and what have you. I had, you have your secrets. You want to keep your secrets. Good luck with that. Yeah, you're on a wheel that spins, and there are going to be a lot of legal knives being thrown at you. Good luck missing all of them. But they're going to, on the right, they're going to try to come up with some kind, they're working something. We've got to do something. Let's try different things to try to avoid judgment. But it's not going to work. Oh, well, that was just a little thunk and a little trickle of water, and that wasn't much of anything. Yeah. And it's only the Republicans who were not involved in all this garbage who will be okay. But it ends up hurting the party. This is normally the card of the miser, the Four of Pentacles, the man who's clutching what little he has left. So they're serious about going after this. Although, of course, the rest of us are like, it wouldn't, if in other circumstances, would there really be a delay here? If, I don't know, this was for example, an African-American man who had broken the law. Funny how they don't drag their feet on any of that. But if you're rich and white and connected. But every card I've gotten on the January 6th committee and every card I pulled today says they're going to do something here. This is not going to just go by the wayside. Not at all. Scotia Sweetie says their failed coup was televised, for goodness sakes. Exactly. Joanne says no, they would be arresting someone who did not show in court. Diana says I always received from judge at least one continuance. It is common. Okay, that's good to know. Good. All right, but so are so Steve Bannon's, is he going to try to go to a court now, or is he going to wait? Is the committee going to do Seven Cups? It feels like Bannon doesn't know exactly what they're going to do. It's like running excuse me, that game where you run in a circle around until the music stops and then you jump on a chair and there's one chair less than the number of people. It's like they're going in a circle and he's just watching just to see how it kind of what ends up going. Three Pentacles, this is part of a plan. There's justice. The plan was to get this to court. Six of Pentacles. Come on, give us a little something. Come on, give us a little something. Say we don't have to do this. Say that the ex-president can still protect his conversations with anybody. So is that what's going to happen? It's going to get run through the courts until there's a final decision of, I don't know. I love how the far right Supreme Court justices who are complaining. They're saying people are starting to think that the Supreme Court is politicized. You don't say. Hanged Man. It is not going to work for Bannon. This card, the feeling on this card is very strong. Queen of Cups, Judgment. 10 of Wands. Pick up your stuff. You're out of here. They go into court for judgment. The Democratic side, they have an argument. Bannon side, you lost. Pick up your stuff. Come on, get out of the court. That's what I'm getting. So it's actually a little bit bright, turning my eyes. So, all right. So I don't even know what time that happened. I'll have to go back and look it up. But at 1:02, to be referred. And at 1:02, I'm guessing 30. Meadows and Patel, continuance. How's that going to go? Okay. Meadows and Patel, they're calling continuance. Let me do 3 for Meadows and 3 for Patel. Because they are cooperating in some way, their testimony being put off a bit. Are they going to allow delay here, or Patel is here, Meadows is there. Ten of Swords. Don't mess with them. Do not mess with this committee. They are not playing. Meadows. King of Swords. 6 of Pentacles. King of Cups. They're going to give him very little. He's not just on a short rope. It's like the old Monty Python skit about new stringettes conveniently cut, conveniently sized. He's on a stringette. Yeah, they're not playing. For all of it, we're waiting until possibly Tuesday, possibly something tonight or this weekend. They're not. Everything I'm getting is they're not playing. Government, Hierophant, Justice, Fool. Patel, just give up. Just give up. You're done. It's over. You had 3 major arcana. The government and your silly, goofy nonsense in the justice card in the middle. You're done. You're done. They're both done. Okay, this is good. This is good. All right, I like it. And you guys know, to be honest, I was a little worried about these guys testifying today and tomorrow. Because if they wait until Tuesday, don't forget, Tuesday, what time of the day? At 11:17 a.m. on Tuesday, Mercury goes direct. Normally when something happens during a Mercury retrograde, it has to be revisited later. It won't go well. It'll have to be revisited later. It will, that happened with the Mueller report. It came out during a Mercury retrograde, so it didn't have the punch. Well, if they're not going to be talking, they're not going to have that meeting about Bannon, and these other guys aren't going to be testifying until at least 11:17 Eastern time on Monday the 18th. Mercury will be stationary going direct. Or actually going direct. You don't have a lot of punch. So maybe not astrologically, this actually might be better. And everything I'm getting in the card says this committee's not playing. Onine. Victoria Erickson. If a year was tucked inside of a clock, then autumn would be the magic hour. I agree. All right. Good. Kendall says the Justice Department are watching Bannon's every move. Yeah. Scotia Sweetie is asking, what was the order of the retrograde planets going direct again? Well, most of them already are. Pluto went direct on the 6th. Saturn went direct on last Sunday, the 10th. And this coming Monday, the 18th, Jupiter goes direct at like 1 in the morning. It's 1:30 Eastern time, 12:30 my time in Chicago. And then, so that's it, like, let's say 1:30 in the morning Eastern time on Monday the 18th, and then at 11:17 Eastern time, so later that morning, Mercury goes direct. So thank you, Joanne. Thank you. These are good things. These are good things. All right. Well, let me see what other questions I have here. Thank you, guys. So let's jump to a different topic here. At 1:08:30, Linda had a good question. Because eventually this is what's going to happen. Sorry about the plane going by. If Putin was gone, would it be easier to work with the other mercenaries of Russia to come into inclusion to the European Union, or would the Russian people have to get rid of them too? I think this is a very good question, because Putin will not live forever. None of us do. Russia. If Putin wasn't there, it feels like you've got to get rid of the oligarchs too. The system's too corrupt. Somebody would just want to take Putin's place. Thank you, Marby. Thank you. Queen of Cups. It would be an opportunity for people like Navalny to actually have more of a voice, at least for a while. So let's see here. 7 of Cups. There's also been a certain amount of brainwashing that what's needed. You live in a democracy, even though there's no viable other party. 5 of Cups. Maybe that system would start breaking down. Strength. 6 of Swords. And the Death card. It feels like a lot of intelligentsia. It feels like a lot of people with knowledge and money would actually leave the country who wouldn't otherwise. But this is not the oligarchs leaving. I'm afraid that's not what that feels like. There would be a brain drain. So, any chance any of that could happen? Get rid of Putin and the oligarchs? Just a thought. Hermit. Oh, they are so isolated. Five, please only apologize for things you have control of. Too many women apologize too often. The planes, the phones, the kitties. That's a whole different conversation. We'll get there. We'll get there someday. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles, Chariot. It would be massive upheaval. And the system is a mess right now. You get let's say a top 1% or 0.5%. You get it faster with the system that's set up there than you get it here. And we know how strong our money flowing to the 1% is. Jeez. Anyway. Oof. All right, at 113, Erica's wondering, why is Sinema fundraising in Europe? And I went and looked. She's not releasing, she said, basically she's releasing that she's going fundraising, but she's not admitting where she's going, who she's talking to, how long she'll be. Thank you, Well-Being. Thank you. These are very sweet. Sinema. Why are you fundraising in Europe? Who are you fundraising from? Queen of Cups. Yeah, right. Yeah, she's a Democrat. Uh-huh. Moon. Knight of Swords. 4 of Wands. What is she doing? That's law enforcement. This is happy Republicans. She might be, there may be Americans. I mean, it could be that there are Americans over there who are big donors. But Diana says, arrest Bannon again. Mm-hmm. She's cruising for bruising, my baby. Anybody else remember Basha? Although I know that's a cover. That song was a cover. But I'm most familiar with the Basha version. Scotia Sweetie saying tax haven queens. Oh, maybe she's going to Switzerland. Are you setting up like Swiss bank accounts? And Sandy Miller taking foreign money for her election. What could go wrong? Four of Swords. Judgment. Wheel of Fortune. Page of Cups. Okay, she might be having trouble trying to set up foreign accounts that remain hidden because Switzerland isn't being as tight-lipped as they used to be. I'm not saying they're an open book, but okay. We don't trust you. Trust is consistent behavior over time. 1:16:30. 16:30. White Dragon had a question. Will the rough economy in the next few months affect the midterm elections? Get rid of this. It's saying my description is too long. So I have to erase a couple of things here. Save. Okay. Hang on. Okay. 1:17. We're like 1:17:30. All right, so I'm so glad that happened while we were together. So anyway, will the Dwight Dragon's question was, will the rough economy in the next few months affect the midterm elections? Because we know that with the supply chain problems, it's causing inflation. Will the rough economy in the next few months affect the midterms? Page of Pentacles. Well, they're going to try to make a thing of it. The Republicans will, duh. High Priestess. Empress. Queen of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Four of Swords. It will have an effect. America is already dealing with a whole bunch of problems. But by the midterm elections, I really just keep getting the energy that Americans are going to be sick of the corruption being unveiled. This person's been arrested. That person's being sentenced. That person's trial date starts. This person's already had their trial and they were found guilty. This person was found guilty. This person was found guilty. And this is going to be like not just people nobody's heard of. What is exposed between the January 6th insurrection, corruption in the Trump administration, and really Trump's own criminal company, it's going to add up. And it's not going to be good for Republicans. That's what I'm getting. Linda Kingsley saying that after the U.S. bank lost from Lehman Brothers, Switzerland has been a little different. Don says very few news or readers touch much on Kamala. She's just keeping on keeping on. Her day's coming. She'll be more in the news later, but right now she's just working. I just get pedaling, steady pedaling. Okay, cool. That's what I get on her. That's why I don't read on Kamala, because it just doesn't come up. But I've got that energy, just steady, moving, cadence, good stuff. Okay. Oh yes, Kendall, and Trump is telling Republicans not to vote in 2022. Really? Okay, 121. Okay, 121. Linda, I read on China, and I've been reading on China and Taiwan this week about will China attack? But you make an interesting point. Taiwan makes safe semiconductor chips that the Chinese Communist Party want to take over and make chips to spy on others. Will they succeed, or will Taiwan be safe? So even if China doesn't full out invade, will they get hold of technology? Will they economically, with intelligence, will they kneecap Taiwan and others? Is China going to do something nefarious? I know it would be shocked. Semiconductor chips. It looks so pretty. The grass being greener over the semiconductor grass being greener over here. We want them the precious. China definitely wants them. Yeah, a flat out war would be bad. Knight of Cups. Feels like what's the word? It's not administration. Diplomacy. 2 of Wands. Devil card. 6 of Wands. No, 7 of Wands on the defensive. So China is rumbling. It's like a big volcano. It's rumbling. It's got steam coming out of the vents. It's possibly even shaking the ground. But I'm not necessarily getting that it's going to explode. It's more like it's uncomfortable. It's trying to find a way to get comfortable and get the most without having to give up the least. I'm getting, it's like a beast underground, giant, gargantuan. They used to say with earthquakes or whatever, it was some beast under the ground, settling or whatever that was. Yeah. Linda says they've been doing that to Japan too. It's a bit more. It has bit off more than it can chew. Two of Wands. get people fighting amongst themselves. It makes it easier to come in and have influence. King of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Seven of Cups. This isn't war. That these cards, this isn't war. I'm not saying there won't be shenanigans, but I'm not getting war. So, okay. Google Peace says, I remember family camp. Women and men were in separate dormitories, my feet dangling. A teacher asked for my favorite Bible quote. Jesus wept, I said. I like it. Oh, what was that? Deb was saying in a country that wound up having more men than women, pent up men causing trouble, could be. They've done studies about it when the gender balance gets really out of whack, that there usually do end up being wars and things. Let me see what else I can get. That was some kind of raptor. There was some kind of hawk. Aw. Okay, at 1:26:30. Let me jump down to Vicky's question. I think this is something we really need an answer to. So at 1:27. And I'm sorry if I don't read on your question today. It's nothing personal. Seriously, nothing personal. And your questions are very important to me. There's just a lot that happened today. So Vicky was saying, yesterday you talked about not buying from China and buying food more locally. Will the problems at the ports result in manufacturing moving back to the U.S. overall? I think we're going to need that eventually. But the problems at the ports, is that going to bring back more local manufacturing? Environmental concerns becoming more forward in people's regular thinking. Page of Swords. Well, local manufacturing, but still, because of the internet, ideas still being able to circle the world very quickly. And more things moving online, anything that can be moved online, being moved online for environmental reasons. Over the rest of my life, I just more and more things are going to come into, and you might think, well, you're being an optimist, or you just happen to care for the environment or whatever. I'm not some perfect environmentalist. I'm really not. I try, I do what I can, but I know there's more I could be doing as far as landfills or what have you. But I'm not trying to pretend that I'm some perfect environmentalist, but I do see it becoming more and more of a social requirement in our civilization, and I think that's good. Sun, solar panels, eight of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, and the Star. Thank you, Thelma. Thelma says, side point about anti-vaccination protesters. Last week at school, Beverly Hills City Council has restricted demonstrations around children and schools. Good. So all those ships, those container ships still waiting out in the ocean, and we keep trying to move things, can't move them fast enough. Things are going to clear out. If there's something you're thinking about getting for Christmas, buy it now. Put in your orders now. Think ahead. So hang on. Kevin's saying yay for renewable energy. Yes. All right. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, guys. It makes a big difference. Thank you. So I don't think that this is necessarily going to be what causes manufacturing to come back, but there's going to be an ongoing, it almost feels like a kid who has a bunch of toys out on the ground and has put a piece of string on each one of them, and it's playing, and so it grabs up all the strings and just starts turning them, and all the toys start slowly coming in toward them. That's the mental image I'm getting. All this manufacturing, all of this stuff does kind of Christmas presents in future where you get regional Christmas presents. It's like, oh, you live in Chicago. Oh, you live in Boston. Oh, you live in California. And for Christmas, we're sending each other Christmas gifts that are more regional products. So, but it's going to take time. It's a movement in society, and it's just going to keep moving that way. So, Joanne's been working on her carbon footprint. Bless you. Electra says Biden wants to bring back manufacturing here, and he could use this as a selling point for the problems of getting stuff from overseas. True. I think it's going to be storms. I think it's going to be just the more storms, the more drought, the more floods, the more that the whole society just, even if it's the young people just like grabbing the older people by the collars of their shirts and being like, we're moving this way to do something about this environment. So I think that's what's coming. Oh, thank you, Alicia. That's very sweet. Just a description about falcons. Nice. Jane would like a Chicago beef sandwich. Well, I'm looking forward to my birthday, November 6th. I'm going to get a Chicago Diner chocolate mousse cake. And I'm really looking forward to it. Calories, schmalories. Oh, that stuff is so good. And you can actually get slices or small cakes made by the Chicago Diner. You can get them around the country. If you actually go to the Chicago Diner restaurant, you can see in the building right there, on the second floor, you can look up, you can see the pots and pans where they actually bake all of them. It's pretty cool. So that's local. Anyway, is it vegan? Yes, it is. Chicago Diner, everything the Chicago Diner does is vegan. It's amazing. When I moved back to Chicago, there was a part of me that was like, I wonder if there's an apartment available like behind the Chicago Diner. I'd end up weighing 500 pounds, but all my food would be vegan. It would be so good. So, oh, Michael Grant saying Chicago pizza is being better than New York pizza. Oh, I know those are fighting words for some people, but I did. Have you seen the TV show FBI? There was an episode where there was like an exchange of law enforcement. So there was a police officer, detective from Chicago who was visiting the FBI and going out with being an FBI agent's partner at the Joint Task Force, and they're going out there, and he was saying stuff about Chicago, and she was like, don't even start. Your pizza, it's a cracker with sauce on it. And I was just sitting there, it was like, yes, yes, it is. So, anyway, I'm just happy to get pizza in general. If I get pizza and I can eat it, I'm just happy right there. So, and I don't find that I don't find that I'm not big on pineapple on pizza because I don't like the ham that they usually put with it. But I find that the controversial thing I love on my pizzas that people don't like are black olives. Did I just see a kitty? That was weird. I felt like I half stepped on the edge of a kitty's tail, but I didn't. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, pizza's good. Oh, Dave has vegan pizza right around the corner. Nice. So, Michael says, I'm sorry I started the great pizza debate. Oh, Michael has an olive tree growing in the backyard. Wow. Anyway. All right. Well, that is going to do it for me for today. I am sorry if I haven't, if I didn't read on your questions today, but I'll be back tomorrow. I'm here literally every single day of the year. Every day. Day ends in Y, I'm here. So, and Mandy and I are going to have black olives. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day. It is just about it is 1:56 here in Chicago, and at 4 o'clock in Chicago, so 2 hours from now, I'll be over on the Book Art Media channel. If you do any creative work, come on by. Just bring your creative project and we focus on that. And then between the 25-minute blocks, we just encourage each other. That's it. It's free. There are no ads. It's not monetized. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just the world needs your creative energy. And it's good for your health. So, and I think I saw Barbara loves black olives. Nice. Alicia likes black olives too. Voting on olives. Okay. Thank you, Linda. And I thought I saw Kevin say something about liking black olives. So anyway, that's it. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. There are good days ahead. All right. And we'll enjoy them together. Oh, sorry, Deb. Sorry. I'll make sure there isn't any. When I finally get the chance to feed all of you someday, I'll make sure you don't have black olives. I'll see you tomorrow. We're over at Book Art Media. Oh, wait. Tomorrow. Regular time, doing regular noon to 2 or whenever I get 12 questions done. At 3 o'clock Central Time, I'll be over on The Way of Positive Change. I get to read with Lori. I'll put the link in the description box tomorrow. All right. Take care.